As we mentioned, he's a former PGA Tour winner. He was number 27 in the world at one stage. He's also played in a President's Cup, so we can ask Mark Hensby about that. Good morning, Mark.
Hi, guys. How you doing today?
Yeah, we're really well. How are you doing? How are you hitting him in the lead up to the AV Jennings New South Wales Open?
I'd like to know. I haven't played enough to really fill you in on that one. Yeah, I've been trying to play as much as I can, but there's just not a lot to play in the States this time of the year. So this is my first tournament in about 2 months, or a month and a half. So but it sounds like Minwoo Lee is off to a flying start. So we won't be holding anything back today, that's for sure.
No, you'll be having a crack. And I suppose, Mark, given that you played here last year, well, I don't know whether you know the course that well, but at least you've had a round out here. And how did you find the course, and does it suit your style?
Yeah, it's a fun golf course, I think it doesn't really suit anyone. It's just a fun golf course. You can make a lot of birdies, but you can make a lot of bogeys if you're not smart about it. So it's just one of those courses, if you're really playing well, you can shoot a pretty good score. But if you're a little off, you can also shoot over par. So I think that makes a good golf course,
How will that suit your style of game? We've spoken to a few players this morning, and I mean, do you look at the course and go, well, I'll change certain aspects of my game, or you'll just go hell for leather?
Yeah, I think there's spots out there that you can kind of go a little bit more aggressive. As I said, these young kids are so good now, mate. I mean, they hit it so far. I mean, golf courses that are at this length, if they're driving it well, it's really a pitch and putt for them. I mean, obviously I'm getting older now, and I don't hit it as far as these young kids. So we just got to play probably a little bit smarter. I mean, the whole mentality of golf's changed. So, I mean, it's really fun playing for young kids and seeing how they develop and really how the game's played now.
Hey, Mark, it sounds glamorous. We were talking about it earlier, and for the elite, it is in the world of golf, and you've lived that life with all your success on the PGA Tour and playing in President's Cup. But what about at the start? There's the incredible story about you living out of your car in Chicago just to make your name in the US. When you reflect back on that time now, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it's like any young kid. You do what you do to succeed, and obviously I didn't think about it back then. I wanted to play golf, and that was my passion. But, I look over it now of some of the things I did, and coming from Tamworth and not having a lot of support financially or support morally to succeed the way I did. I'm proud of my career, I mean, we can't all be, the Tiger Woodses of the world and this and that, but I think at the end of the day, you did everything to be as good as you could be, you should be happy. And I look back and I'm just trying to get ready for the senior tour, to be honest. And but no, I'm really happy with the way that my career really panned out.
If you had to give some advice to some of these young golfers, up and coming golfers coming through, Mark, what would be your number one thing that you'd say to them?
Mate, I think the patience is the big thing. These kids are so aggressive. There's a lot of things, obviously, but they've got to learn to hit it far. I mean, that's the way the game's become. And just like every sport, the guys are bigger, faster, and stronger, and that's just the way of the world now. So I think the kids need to learn to hit it hard, and I think patience and the aggressiveness now, it's really difficult for kids now because, when I was growing up, you could learn the trade. Now you got to be good from the get-go. And I think that, financially, the guys who are on top, like the Spieths and the Rorys, and they're just so far ahead financially. When you got 50 to 60 to $100 million, I mean, you're playing for fun. I mean, we all play for fun, but they got no stress. So I think that the kids got to, when they get out there, they got to play like millionaires. They got to play like they got nothing to lose, just like these guys do, and that's important.
Don't know if you've seen the news lately with our cricketers, some of them taking mental health breaks, and it being a highlight. Well, it's becoming a more spoken about topic in all sports. Golf can be a pretty lonely game, especially, and you mentioned these young kids, how, there's that pressure on them from the start. Is that a bit of a concern about that could be growing in the golfing community?
Yeah, I think so, because, it is a lonely sport. In fact, I know a couple of guys on tour last year that were rookies that actually hired someone to hang out with them. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but, it's a lonely sport. I mean, obviously times are changing. Yeah. I mean, back in our day, if you talked about what you just said then, everyone would think you were crazy. But now it's like, yeah, but there's so much more money in sports now, and there is a lot more pressure, and yeah, it's a tough gig, man. It's I wouldn't want to be starting out again. I can tell you that.
Yeah. We want to talk to you about President's Cup. We've got it down in Royal Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time. You played in 2005. That was at Gainesville, Virginia. We were talking about it with Peter Lonard earlier. Jack Nicklaus was the captain of the US side, and the great Gary Player was your captain. What was it like at that time? What was it like playing in that team environment, which you don't do a lot of the times?
No, and I'm sure, Laurie's played in teams, and so on. So I think the hardest part is you're not playing for yourself now. Like when we play by ourselves, it's us. It's all on us. I mean, we hit a bad shot, it's on me. It's, and then I can go and kick myself in the butt. But when you're playing with a team, and especially an alternate shot, I mean, if you're hitting your guy in the crap all day, it's like you just feel terrible. And so it's definitely different playing for a team because we just don't do it in our sport that much. And I'm sure, Laurie, if you had a bad day on the field, you probably felt shitty for your team. So I think that, that was the feeling that we got if we, did that and in a match. I remember playing against Tiger. Me and Apple, we played Tiger and Furyk in a match, and we didn't play great, but we didn't play terrible, but it was just demoralising to watch a guy just handle us like we were nothing.
Your big odds in this New South Wales Open, big odds now considering that the Moo in Lee has shortened up to $251, right?
Gowie's tipped you.
Gowie's tipped you. Now, I don't know if that's a great thing or a bad thing, but Gowie thinks you're going to go pretty good. To the punters out there that are thinking about having their $5, $10 on you, why will you win the New South Wales Open?
Well, at $250, that's a pretty good bet. I mean, why would I win? I'm one of those players. If I'm playing well, and I got a chance. If I'm a little off, obviously, it is. But I'm not scared to win. I guess, we may be older, but we've got a lot of experience. And when I've gotten the heat of battle, usually I play pretty well and can finish it. If not, I'm right there. So I think that's it, a bit of experience. But as I said, getting off to a good start is going to be important this week.
What's the next 12 months look like for you, Mark?
Well, I have status on that Korn Ferry tour, 48, 49 category. So they keep changing the name of that damn tour. But it's... I mean, I don't know what Korn Ferry actually is. I mean, sounds like something to do with farms, but I know it's not. But so I'm going to play that as much as I can. Stewie Appleby and Robert Allenby are a little bit ahead on me on that, the money list to get into that. But I should get in at least, half the season. And then when I turn 50 the following year, I'll get in. I think the Senior British will be my first one. So, it's funny. Your career goes by pretty quick. I mean, Laurie, I'm sure you started really young. I think you were a superstar really early, right? So, I'm sure you played football. Oh, I watched you play football as a kid growing up and obviously admirers. But, the kids now are just, the careers are going by so fast. These kids are all good young and it's amazing that golf used to be a sport where you kind of hit your peak in your 30s and maybe early 40s. Now it seems like it's in your 20s, but that's just the way of sports now.
Laurie was nodding here in agreement with you, Mark, when you were saying that. So
don't believe him, Mark.
No, he did. He appreciated that. Hey, mate, we wish you all the best. And by the way, Korn Ferry is a global organisational consulting firm synchronising strategy and talent to drive superior performance for their clients.
It sounds like you're reading that.
Yeah, he is.
He just Googled it.
I figured he did.
We had no idea what it was.
No idea. No idea. Hey, great to have a chat, mate, and we wish you all the best over the next 4 days at the New South Wales Open.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Thanks.
Cheers,
Mark Hensby there, former world number 27. Fantastic to have him on the program. We'll take a break, and then after the break, we'll be back with things you may have missed with Jamie Rogers.